Welcome back to Extra Holiday Games. I'm Extra Holiday, and it's time. We're leaving the Coliseum of Fools for the final time. Let me check the map real quick. Okay. There's something I want to do before we head to what I know is the end of the game. Hopefully there's no spikes on top. No, okay. I mean, I managed to land aside of it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. There is something I want to accomplish. Now, before we finish up here. It's fine. I don't really care. At this point, I'm not really afraid of anyone. Now that I've finished the Trial of Fools. I am not scared in the slightest. No, I guess I could have just teleported back, huh? Yeah, it's fine. Just checking. Alright, so we're gonna go to the hidden station. Just a real quick detour, this will be. Might as well drop this here so I can get back quicker. I guess it doesn't really matter. If I left it at King's Station, then that would have put me next to a stag station anyway. Okay. Back here. Alrighty. I was thinking I could get that guy with how long my range was. Alright. We don't need this money anymore. So I'm just gonna... Oh? It didn't take all my money. And I got a part of a soul vessel for it. Interesting. Okay. I thought there might be something if you put a certain amount of money in. I kind of assumed it wasn't just a way to throw away money. But I did not know for certain what it would be. And in reality, we really don't need this money anymore. So I was actually kind of hoping that we would get to throw it away. This is the one I wanted. Just teleport back. We are going to take the stag back to Dirtmouth so that we can finally bring this game to a close. I know there's more that I could do, but at the same time, I feel like I've done everything I want to do in this game. So, I'm gonna sit here for but a moment, drop myself down the well. Is there a closer bench? Doesn't look like it, but we are pretty close, so I think we're okay. What the that was a massive explosion, what the hell? Okay, well, might be going in with -1 health. Let's do it. Temple of the Black Egg. Let's go. Oh, there's a bench right here. Vessel, though bound, you shall know the state of the world. How a nest will be whole again. Completion percentage viewable in inventory. Let's see. Oop, this way. Where are we at? 84%. That's not bad. I'll take it. I honestly don't have any idea where I would go to get anything else, so. Alright. Can't hit him just yet. Have to break the chains. Here we go. The Hollow Knight. Title drop. Roll credits. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Good counter. Oh, I couldn't heal there because he was yelling. Oh, okay. Got it. Uh-huh. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Death. Okay. Alright, alright. Reasonable. Hi. Let's go. I'm assuming I don't have to break the chains again. Oh, that was supposed to be a down slash there. That was also supposed to be a down slash. Ooh, good. I managed to deal enough damage to... Actually, ow. Stun him. Oh, projectiles, got it. It's not all melee with this one. What are we doing? Oh. Ha-ha. Ow. Oh, we're flying now? It appears. Mm-hmm. Okay. Take a chance to heal. Oh. Is that it? Did we do it? The HUD disappeared, so... If I stop, I can't stop now. Yeah, that's what I thought would happen. The Hollow Knight. Good game. And I'm fairly certain there's another ending. I don't know if it requires me to get 100% or what. But I also had a thought. I didn't try just like going to the right at the part where you're supposed to absorb things. There might have been something there. But yeah, I figured this was kind of like, I mean, I think I had it somewhat spoiled for me at one point. I figured this was a, like, you're using yourself to seal in the bad stuff ending, which is a little sad, but it is what it is. I think I don't plan on diving too deep into the lore, but the impression I got was that our character, the knight, was essentially made for this purpose, made essentially as an empty vessel to hold all this contamination. And it was our purpose to get rid of the old vessel that was starting to leak, and replace it, which is very bittersweet. Yes, we've helped all the other citizens of Hollow Nest, but at the cost of effectively our own life. Which I can appreciate. Frankly, I think it does feel... I know the comparisons have been drawn before. I think I've even drawn comparisons before. But it does feel a bit like the ending of a Dark Souls game, where it's like really your whole purpose. I think Dark Souls 3 at least was like this, where really your whole purpose is essentially just to keep things going, rather than letting things end. And I think it was more obvious here than it is in Dark Souls, but it's always an interesting theme, you know. It's always one that does tug a little bit on the heartstrings. Congratulations, well done on achieving this great feat. You persevered and you triumphed. We hope you enjoyed yourself in the world of Hollow Knight. We'll meet again soon on the road ahead. Oh yeah? How soon? How soon, Team Cherry? Because last I checked, it might have taken a while to get the next game out. Granted, there was DLC for this game, which I will say now, I don't think I plan on playing. I'm not 100% sure. This might only be part of it, but I'm fairly certain at least some of the DLC is just kind of like a gauntlet of bosses, which could be fun, but probably not something I'm going to play on the channel. Also, something I kind of wish there were longer credits for, because usually during the credits of a game I talk about how I feel about the game. This is a very good game. It was only recently I figured out that I liked this genre of games, and that was even after I had first attempted to play this game, and I'm glad I came back to it because it is very fun. There are some parts that are frustrating, but nothing that really feels unfair, you know. That's a term that gets thrown a lot when talking about, like, again, Souls-likes and stuff like that, or just challenge in video games in general, is the fairness of the challenge. This game does feel very fair. So I really enjoy that about it. It is challenging. It's not, I wouldn't call it the hardest game I've ever beaten, but it is hard at points. And especially, I'm fully aware that the Trial of Fools was entirely optional. But that part especially, I would say that is the hardest thing I did in this game. And that was tough. Genuinely, the fact that I actually had to go back and rework my build several times to figure out something that would actually work, that felt optimal for the challenge, was an indicator that that is a genuinely hard thing. And I always love a game that has those sorts of challenges in it, even if they're just optional. Probably better if they are optional, actually. But a challenge that makes you like really engage with the mechanics of the game, makes you test out different options to figure out what's best. Could I have just looked it up to figure out what's best? Yes, but that's not how I like to play. And there's a lot of other things about this game that I like too. The music is great. It very much has that, like... I should stop making comparisons, but it kind of has the feel of a Metroid game in terms of the actual gameplay, but it has almost the tone of a Soulsborne type game, where everything is a little darker. Like, yes, a lot of the characters in this game are kind of cutesy a little bit, like at least a little bit cute. But there is, like, the subject matter is dark, and it's not plain. It's not as... I want to say it's not as, like, cartoonish, I don't think it's the right word. Dire? No. It's not as... Man, how do I describe this? It's... The impression I've gotten from the few Metroid games I've played so far is, yes, there's danger in them, but it still feels very... It feels more like you're watching a movie kind of danger, right? Like, that's kind of the tone, is almost like, you know, kind of an action movie with maybe like a little bit of horror tenseness to it. This game, and I think also the Soulsborne type games, particularly Dark Souls and Bloodborne and the actual FromSoft games, I feel like have a very much like bleak is the word I was looking for. And it's not like overly bleak, but it is like things are pretty bad. And even though you are trying to do things to help, the chance you're not gonna solve everyone's problems, right? Whereas opposed to something like Metroid, it's like at the end of the story, everything is pretty much wrapped up. And that's one aspect I like about this game. I do like stories with that sort of tone to them. And I also, one thing I do like in both my Metroidvanias and in Souls-likes, is... It's weird to say, but the kind of a feeling of loneliness. I feel like you get less of that in this game than you do in a Soulsborne game or a Metroid game, because there are a lot of friendly NPCs who are very cordial with you and kind of upbeat in a not as creepy way as like the constant laughing in Dark Souls. But I do like games that feel like it is you working your way through on your own. And this game does that very well. So that's another thing I really like about it. And yeah, I think the only thing that holds this game back for me really is in my platformers, I guess you could call it action platformers. In my action platformers, having a melee weapon as the primary weapon is a harder sell for me. It is... You get hit a lot. You get hurt a lot more by just running into people when your primary weapon is melee. And let's be real, that is very video gamey, right? Like the convention of I touched an enemy and therefore I am damaged. And so I'm not as much of a fan when it comes to that sort of thing. And this game really doesn't have an option. The closest we got was Grubberfly's Elegy. This game doesn't really have an option to acquire a ranged weapon that you can use consistently. And I can tell that that was intentional, because it would be a very different game otherwise. That's probably the only thing that I feel I didn't like as much about it. But again, I recognize that it would not be the same game if it were built around ranged combat as opposed to melee. So yeah, overall, just a very good game. And will I get around to 100%ing it? Probably not. Will you see any more of it on the channel? Probably not. Will I play Silksong ever? We'll see. We will see. Well, what are our stats? 84%. 36 hours, I feel like, is a long time. But it lines up with approximately how many episodes we have of this. And we only did 84%. Again, I'm probably not 100%ing this game. Oh, Steel Soul mode. No shade, no reviving, death is permanent, the ultimate challenge. Yep, probably not doing that either. Where's it gonna put me? Where are we at? Back to the title screen. Okay. So, we'll just have to see what's coming up next time. Because, as for this episode, and as for Hollow Knight, that's a wrap. Now I gotta figure out what other game to play.